guys, so you'll be calling all the shots. And then you won't, when you get ready to get a head job, you won't have to worry about all that, who really runs things stuff. So he did it, and he did a great job. They rejuvenated OU football just immediately. Got them in a bowl game, and of course the next year Mark Mangino took over as a play caller, but they won the national championship. And Mike,
then Mike went on to be really successful at Texas Tech, and
yeah.
And now you got all kind of people running your offense. What's it like? I read that guys when they were younger, like Urban Meyer, Sean Payton, would actually come to you like you did Lavelle Edwards and Mouse Davis.
Well, I always appreciate those guys for letting me do that. I mean, they were always very open, really made it possible for young coaches to study under them if you wanted to. I think the thing about Lavelle, the reason it didn't move faster there is just because Provo's where it is, and a lot of people kind of looked at the BYU program and said, well, we can't do that because he plays with older guys,
Yeah.
Which, in reality, that had always been the lemons that Lavelle made lemonade out of. When he took over the BYU program, all the previous coaches had not been Mormon, and so they would tell the kids they couldn't go on missions and stuff like that. And so Lavelle embraced all that and let them go on the missions, brought them back and played with older kids, and it was really, a brilliant way of taking advantage of it. He kind of took the lemons and made lemonade out of it. And I always admired him for that because I always thought BYU was not exactly the mecca for drawing athletes at the time. Now he changed the culture of that program. When Lavelle took over that program, they only had one winning season ever.
Yeah, I mean, by the time you get to the late 70s, he's in a bowl game every year.
Oh yeah, and
wins a national championship.
Yeah, won a national championship, and something totally improbable. So I always admired all that, and he was always real gracious to me, and I'd ask we'd stand there and watch practice. Lavelle didn't coach anything; he'd just walk around, so it was fun to go to practice. For a young guy, I'd occasionally walk up next to him, stand there, and just listen to him tell stories, or ask him a question, and just listen to the stories, and it was very helpful. And
so he was kind of a coach
instrumental in me getting the job at Kentucky. C.M. Newton called him, and Lavelle was really instrumental in me getting the job there.
Yeah, so Lavelle's coaching was coaching his coaches to coach the players.
Yeah, and the amazing thing about the BYU program, if you watched them in practice, and we've always tried to emulate it through the years, was their players would coach their younger players, and I always thought that was neat about that system. And then the thing with Mouse and them had a similar approach to BYU, but in some ways a different approach. And I enjoyed all the run and shoot stuff, and we still do some of the run and shoot stuff. But I just thought, in terms of taking on, if I was going to put an offense together that would last, I needed to lean more towards the BYU program because they play with two backs a lot.
Yeah.
And we enjoy playing with one back. We enjoy playing with no backs. But there are times when people are just going to blitz you, and you got to be able to protect and just get it to your best player. And I lost a really close game to Georgetown High School when I was at Carpers Cove, and it was being coached by Art Riles, and Art taught me that lesson one night. I think we lost 10-7 in the homecoming game because we only got one ball to our great wide receiver because Art and him we were determined to be a one-back team at that point, and Art and them just took advantage of that and blitzed us so bad we couldn't get the ball off.
Yeah, best example I can remember that would be was it 95 or 96 championship game, Florida's Fun and Gun or whatever they call it against Nebraska.
Yeah, same thing. Yes, exactly the same thing. And so that made it. After that game, I walked in the Carvers Cove office and I told them that this is never going to happen to us again. We're going to put in two backs and we're going to always have that ability, and we're going to lean more towards the BYU deal.
Yep. Now you coach at Belhaven now, NAIA school. It's kind of
we're not. We're D3. We used to be NAIA.
Oh, is it D3 now? Okay.
Yeah, that was the reason I came here. I really love coaching Division III football because they're all kids that you know, they just want to play. There's no scholarships.
Yeah, they're playing because they love to play. Plus, they love
the game. Dr. Parrott always wanted to make, our president here always wanted to make this it really was a D3 school kind of playing in the NAI, but we've always had a D3 mentality. We never gave full scholarships and that sort of thing. So the history hadn't been real good here, but we're going to change that.
So, I mean, what do you, I mean, basically you just said what you liked about coaching now. I mean, do you enjoy this more than a big-time program?
I've enjoyed both of them. I mean, it's hard to say which one you like. Usually the one I enjoy the most is the one I'm doing at the time.
Yeah.
The thing I like about D3, and when I went to McMurray, Grant Taft, that was Grant Taft's school. The head of the AFCA and the former Baylor
coach. Yeah, the old Baylor coach.
Grant had always been one of my mentors also that helped me in my career immensely. And he had, when I left New Mexico State, New Mexico State's the only one we didn't turn around. And we got let go after 4 years. And I always thought if they'd have been a little more patient, we would have done it. It was just one of those places that, you know, the APR came into being when we went there, and we lost a lot of scholarships, and so it just was a slower climb there. And the WAC was really a great league in those days. We had, you know, Boise and Hawaii, and all those guys were Fresno. All of them were rocking and rolling. And we had some great offenses, but we didn't have enough defensive guys, and it was just going to take longer to get that. And so anyway, the last season I was there in 2008, I had cancer, and we got fired. It was really not a great Christmas.
That doesn't sound like it.
So I was kind of sitting around there. They paid me off, so I was going to sit around and just kind of maybe go coordinate for somebody, you know. And the AD at McMurray called me up. Want to know if I'd be interested, and he told me they hadn't won a game in 2 years, and started sounding a lot like I was. So I told him, I said, well, I've got 6 assistants that don't have jobs, and one of them was Jolie Dunn, and then another one was my son. So some people I was really close to, and they hadn't found jobs. I said, if you'll hire all those guys, I'll come, and so they agreed to it, and we did. So when I went there, I really kind of was skeptical about this whole no scholarship deal, you know, because I'd never done it before. And McMurray plays in a great league, the American Southwest, and Mary Hardin-Baylor kind of has ruled that thing, and Hardin-Simmons, those were the two kind of big dogs in the league. And we went there, and we built a stadium, and we got kids, and along the process of getting the kids, I realized how much fun it is to sit in that office there and just talk football with parents and not have to worry about whether or not I'm going to give them room and board or just room. You know? Yeah. It kind of takes it off of you. I mean, if you're not at a place that's a D1 school or you know, like Kentucky or New Mexico State or something, all those other schools all those scholarships are partials, and they become negotiable. And you sit there like you're the GM of the NFL team, and you're negotiating with them over whether or not you should pay for their books. Yeah. So I really enjoyed that part of it, and we kind of found that we could get they're D3 players, but a lot of them are just as good to play. A lot of them could play for the schools that are scholarship schools, and there's just so many good players left over out there that the ones that really love the game after signing date, they weed themselves out pretty fast. The ones that don't love the game and they only wanted the scholarship, you don't have to worry about talking to them. Talk to them once and it's over. The others that really love the game, they'll practically recruit you if you're doing things that they like. And so I just enjoyed that a lot at McMurray, and we had great success there. And so when I got this opportunity at Belhaven, we're in they wanted to get in the same league as McMurray, so we're in the same league. This will be our first year in it to play a full schedule. And our president here wanted to build a stadium like we did at McMurray, and we're building a beautiful stadium. It's probably going to be the best one in Division III. And so it was exciting, and I just like doing it, and so that's why I'm here.
All right, sounds good. Sounds like at least you're happy, which a lot of people aren't nowadays. So.
Well, yeah, I've always been blessed in that respect, you know.
Well, I mean, you get to coach football for a living. You can't top that anyways.
No, it's like, I love Jimmy Buffett, and I always go to a concert every year. And one of the great things I love about Buffett concerts is somewhere in the middle of the concert, Buffett comes out and thanks the crowd for his 30-year summer job, So
yeah.
It's a great line, and when he said it the first time, I thought, that's really what I do. I mean, I tell these young coaches with me all the time, guys, if you weren't doing this, you'd have to get a real job. And it kind of brings them back to reality sometimes when they start feeling sorry for themselves.
Yeah. But all right, Coach. Well, I'll let you go because I know I originally told you like 30 minutes. I think we're about 40 now, but I really appreciate you coming on.
Hey, no problem, Mike. Thanks for doing it, and we'll love to get you on our show here soon, too.
All right. Thanks a lot, Coach.
Appreciate it, Mike. Bye-bye.
All right, guys. Make sure you check us out on thegruelingtruth.net. Tomorrow we will have former Dallas Cowboy James Jeffcoat on the show. And also in the afternoon we'll have Jeff Severson, who is the safety for the Washington Redskins during Super Bowl VII. Also check out our boxing show tonight. We will have welterweight contender Jeff Horn from Australia will be our guest. And then after that, we will have our Inside Boxing Weekly show with me and Jeremiah Pricer. We will have on former heavyweight contender Peter McNeely to preview the upcoming Deontay Wilder-Alexander Povetkin fight in Russia this Saturday night. So make sure you check out Gridiron Mo at www.gridironmo.com. Check us out on Google Play. Check us out on iTunes, Spreaker, Stitcher. Anywhere you find podcasts, you will find The Grueling Truth. So for Coach Hal Mumme, I'm Mike Goodpaster. You've been listening to The Grueling Truth, where the legends speak.